welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. So today we are doing a full face of makeup that I forgot I had. So basically I recently did a declutter and I got rid of kind of like as much as I could, but there were products that I had just surprised myself on going, I completely forgot I had that, and so I thought I would accumulate that into a video. So we are starting off with primer. So we're starting off with the Technique Pore Perfect Primer. That's a lot of P's. So this is essentially a dupe for the e.l.f. putty primers, and I have used it quite a bit, but I just for some reason forgot I had it, just because so many brands have been coming out with different types of primers. Even e.l.f. had been coming out with their kind of gel type ones, and then everyone kind of forgot about the putty ones, and then they even came out with kind of like a liquid version of the putty. I don't think Technique have got that far yet. Maybe they're kind of on the way to duping that one, because Technique and W7 are like the kings of duping other brands, and even though they don't completely copy everything, they do copy so much. I think W7 are probably the main culprit, and I think Technique have over the years started to kind of get to that point as well, where I'm kind of like, this is getting slightly ridiculous, where they don't even put much effort into actually like hiding the fact that it's kind of like a dupe, even though e.l.f. is still a really affordable brand. Like, in my opinion, I feel like maybe £10 for a primer is pretty good, and then when you look at something like this, it's like half the price, but then it's still pretty decent. I mean, I kept it because I wanted to use it, and the fact that it still gives my skin a bit of hydration. It does kind of give a slight cast, if that makes any sense, but I still think it's quite nice. So I'm gonna let that settle in, and with foundation, we're going in with the XX Revolution Skin Blur Soft Focus. So it's been a while since I've used this, and I actually went to a Boots this morning and I saw them there, and I was like, I completely forgot that I actually own this, and it is the most tiniest like bottle. How much is it? I don't even know how much is in here. I don't think, oh, it's 0.77 fluid ounces. So even though it's not the largest, and because it's a demi matte finish and a skin tint, it's probably not going to give me like the most coverage, and it's been a while since I've used it because again I forgot, and I got the shade Light Sand. So I am just gonna put it on and try and remember if I like it, because again, I have a really bad memory, and because I'm testing out so much makeup these days, everything that I kind of like I start to forget about. So I'm just gonna tap this in, and I think because it is a skin tint, again, it's not going to be the best. I keep on, like, when I think of skin tints now, I'm automatically just going to think of the Maybelline like Super Stay tint, and that one is super full coverage. So I need to kind of get away from the fact that not all kind of skin tints are going to be as good as that, because nothing can really beat that one. I did try out the P. Louise Fine brand moisturizer, and that like tinted moisturizer, it was not very good. I mean, I don't think it's a tinted moisturizer, it's like a skin tint basically, and it just looked like I put nothing on my face. Whereas with this, we have a slight color like coming through, and I'm not going to add any more because I feel like it will just become slightly cakey if I do add too much, because with like certain foundations and skin tints these days, piling them up is just going to make it a bit more like just not looking that great, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go in with concealer. So we have the Studio London Flaunt Flawless Cream Concealer. So this is by Superdrug. So I really like this brand, but I don't know, there's not a lot out there for me to like kind of go, oh, I really want to try it. And you know, when I got this, is like £5, and again, I completely forgot that I had it because it was right at the bottom of my box, and I was like, I need to try this again. So I'm just going to put this in my usual places, and my skin has not been so great recently. I've been under a lot of stress, and my rosacea pokes out a lot when I'm under stress, and so I need a concealer that will kind of cover it up. I'm not going to be like going out after this anyway. I tend to just take it off straight away, but I do want to kind of get this video to a good potential of makeup if I can, because a lot of these products I do love using a lot. I just sometimes just forget that they exist, and you never know, when you use these kind of products again, they might kind of reignite your passion for them. So this is still really good. There are a couple of things by them I do want to try. I want to try their kind of like eye paints. It's kind of reminiscent of like the P. Louise Pro Base paints or whatever. But I just have so many of them that if I keep on buying by other brands, they're just going to kind of dry up and not look so good. But everything is looking good so far, so let's go on to a bronzer. So I have this by Revolution Pro. So this is a sculpting bronzer in the shade Baha'i, and I have used this so many times, but no matter how many times I use it, it doesn't look like it's kind of disappearing. And all bronzers that I've been using recently have all been like cream ones, and I have like 2 or 3 powder ones, and this is kind of like my oldest one, but again, I haven't used it in so long because I'm too into the cream ones. And so I'm just going to put this on. I'm hoping it's still got some kind of pigmentation to it because it is a bit old, but let's see if it works still. Okay, it's still looking good. I mean, I always put on a very light layer because I don't want to end up looking too heavy, because I'm not so great at bronzing. But I feel like if I do a light amount and then just slowly add more when I need it, it looks totally fine. So let's go on to blush. So this tiny guy by Collection, and this is in the shade Cherry. I think I've used it once, and then again it fell at the bottom of one of my boxes and I just didn't remember it was there. So I'm just going to put this on. And Collection have so many good products. Like, them and MUA are a brand that people really kind of like that's a lot, not sleep on, but I don't feel like they get enough kind of like recognition in like the UK makeup world, because everything is so overshadowed by all other like big American brands as well. But I feel like with Collection and MUA, all their products essentially are like, I don't know, lower than £15, and I'm just using that as like a kind of prime example because MUA came out with a palette that's like £12, but then with Collection you can get this for like £2.50, £3, and you really, like, you see it's really pigmented and it is really glowy. Haven't even added a highlighter, and it kind of, you know, shows you how kind of nice it is. Yeah, there's a shade for everyone as well, which I love about Collection. They're really like they work for so many people. So let's go on to like highlighters. So this one is such an interesting one. I don't know why I picked it up in the beginning, but I thought it was quite funny. But it's another Revolution product, and it's the Bubble Balm in Icy Rose. So this is like a dupe for the Huda Beauty like highlighter that everyone freaking hated, and it just looks like a petri dish, which is disgusting but funny at the same time. And it kind of fell at the back of one of my cupboards, and I just saw it earlier. And so I'm just going to use this because, again, it's been a while since I've used it and I don't know if it's dried up. But I'm just going to, yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, even in the beginning when I first used it, it wasn't as great as I was hoping. I'm going to see if it might work with a sponge. That might help it a little bit more. So let's see. No, I think with the warmness with my finger kind of gives it a bit more oomph, but it's still like not doing anything. It just looks a bit tacky. Ugh. Yeah, that's probably like way too much, and that's not enough. Okay, right, so let's just kind of ignore that. I think when this came out, everyone really freaking hated it anyway, and I don't think it's the best product, but I think I got it at like a massive discount, which is nothing new for me. So let's go on to eyes. And there were quite a few palettes that I kind of looked at and I was like, I want to use that one, but because this brand is all over the place right now and this certain person is all over the place right now, I thought I would bring it up. So it's a Jacqueline Hill palette by Morphe. So this is her first one, and I just haven't used it again in so long, and I do really like this palette. I was very late to the game because I've only had this for like a year. I think it's maybe like longer than a year, but I actually saw this on the Morphe website yesterday for £4 and it's sold out. But I thought I just haven't used it, and because she's recently announced that she's closed all her lines, like literally everything that she's come out with, she's just closing, and I feel really bad for her, but at the same time it's such a crazy world out there in makeup world, and I thought I would just use this today because it was just at hand. So yeah, I'm not doing anything too fancy because I have a really bold lip, and so I thought I would just try something a bit fun. So I'm going to go in, I'm not going to try and use the same shades as I always do because it tends to get a bit boring, but we're going to go in with MFEO just at the top. And again, I haven't planned out my looks but I'm just going to go for it. I'm using this really nice melt brush that I got in a mystery box because I don't buy like melt brushes by themselves, but this is like still super pigmented, as you can see. So we're going to go into another kind of not so deep shade. We're going to go in with let's see, I kind of want to just like build it up, so I'm going to go in with Puta just here. And one thing I do like about this palette is that there's a nice selection of just a mixed shade. So you've got your greens and you've got some blues and the kind of like neutral tones, which is great for everybody. I think it's a really nice palette. I do want to get the other, like the second one, but it's no big deal if I can't get it, because obviously if they've gotten rid of it, it's not the end of the world. But these palettes are massive as well, but still they're pretty decent quality. And even after this kind of year or so that I've had it, or maybe even longer, time is not like in my mind, it's just everything's a blur. But yeah, it's still really great quality. And with something slightly kind of deeper now, I guess we're going to go in with Roxanne just in the middle, and I believe that's what she called her jewelry line. I can't remember, I could be wrong, but yeah, literally when I saw that she was closing like all her brands, I was genuinely like, I'm not surprised, but I am surprised at the same time, because you would think like someone of her stature and confidence in like the makeup world, she'd be like, no, I'm gonna fight this to the end and do what I can, blah blah blah. But I guess each person is, you know, she's obviously had a lot of issues during like her lipstick gate and everything that she brings out, there's an issue. But you know, maybe it's a learning curve after how many years of being in the makeup industry. But you know, I've tried her highlighter, black powder highlighter, which is really nice, and her liquid lipsticks were really really good, like part of her own range. So I'm definitely like keeping those because I feel like they're really nice products. But everything else like on her website, I believe is all gone. And even on the Morphe website, I had a look and there's like nothing on there. So it's a bit difficult to kind of like find anything. There's a one or two like Morphe shops left. So there's one in Stratford, which is in East London, and then they have like their little pop-up in like Boots and Superdrug. But for her like own range, I don't know if it's worth going into an actual Morphe shop themselves to have a look if you do want anything. I'm going to end with a shimmer now, and I'm going to go in with we'll go in with Firework just here. It's a bit weird, I feel like I'm going to be like I'm ill, like I'm under the weather. I don't know what it is, like my voice, I've kind of figured out today, is just not normal, like how I normally talk. And I have been, like I mentioned, I've been under a lot of like stress recently, so much going on in my life, but I'm trying to like just be positive and just get on with it. But I feel like if I'm getting sick, that's not a good thing, because I'm like working, and like I work full time as well, and I love to do certain things outside of work and like just live my life as much as I can. But if I'm sick, that's not fun. That is not fun. Okay, so eyes are really really simple today, but they're still pretty good. I mean, it's gonna make it nice, as Michaela says, nice and sharp. My god. But yeah, this is still such a good palette. I mean, it's still just, yeah, really great quality, and I'm obviously keeping it. Even after my declutter, I was like, I'm definitely keeping it. So now with the lips, we are going in with MAC, like this liquid lipstick in the shade Carnivorous, and I love these type of shades. And I kind of wish during like the autumn winter that I had done a lot more deeper shades. Like the other day I wore one of like the NYX like smooth whip lipsticks in like a purple shade. I went to work wearing it and everyone's like, it looks so good, but because it was slightly patchy, it became so kind of like, it kind of all went together. But with these, they really just kind of glide on really nicely, and they really last like a long time. As much as I kind of want to try more MAC, I don't think they're cruelty free, so it's a bit of a pain in the ass to kind of use them, because I'm kind of breaking some of the rules. But sometimes I buy them. I don't know, we all break our own rules sometimes, so I'm just gonna get this on. Haven't done the best job, and I've majorly like gone over my lip line, but this is my finished look using makeup that I completely forgot I had. And I do look really kind of like washed out slightly. This t-shirt doesn't help, and my background doesn't help, but hopefully my hair will shape my face a bit easier. But yeah, it's nice to kind of go back to some old makeup that even though it's not necessarily like really old, but my memory is so freaking bad sometimes. I will honestly forget how much I enjoy something. I think the only thing that kind of let me down was this, but that's no surprise. I think the putty primer has slightly kind of just melted, because it's gone super soft, and it's not like when you normally have these putties, they're kind of solid, but this is like really soft, and I don't know if that's kind of affected how everything works. But so far we're looking fine. So what makeup have you like recently rediscovered? Because I'm really intrigued, because again, a lot of our makeup gets lost at the bottom and we do tend to forget about them. So let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, because I film and upload every time I get a chance to. Don't forget to follow me on any of my social medias, because I'm always active on there, and appreciate you sitting down listening to me ramble on. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.